Regardless of how often you have been chastised for practicing sperm retention, you will still stand out among 99 other individuals. It's because wasting sperm makes you weaker, more fatigued, and depleted of life power. So let's find out why you're better than 99% of males. 1. The connection. Your connection with yourself will improve considerably as a result of sperm retention. You will be more inwardly stable and will only speak when necessary. Allow your actions to speak for themselves. It may be a little tricky at first, but it will become easier as you go. It will also assist you in improving your connection with your spouse. There will be greater respect and a sense of independence since you will not be completely reliant on your spouse. It may cause you to become quieter, and you may find yourself speaking and sharing less than usual. You may not feel good about it at first, but things will improve in the long run. You will feel as though your connection is improving as you strengthen your primary relationship with your body. Your body needs the greatest love and care, thus it must be your closest friend for the rest of your life. So, while retaining sperm, avoid processed foods and sweets. Eat vegetables and avoid foods that stimulate dopamine release in your body, since this is what tempts you to produce sperm. Certain fats, sauces, sugar, and cheese are harmful yet delicious, drawing you back to the top food sellers for more. 2. Men who lead have a magnetism that attracts even the weakest of men, and they begin to behave feminine toward you. They adore you and want to be like you, whether they are men or women. When a guy maintains his sperm, he instructs his body to reabsorb the life that has already been formed within his body. That same life essence is turned into a human being once it is released into a vagina. The fluid of life, like its force, cannot be replaced. As a result, a man's seed is irreplaceable. A man's sperm is more than just a collection of vitamins, minerals, glucose, protein, and other substances. Otherwise, science should have been able to reproduce and produce human sperm in a lab. Although an artificial womb may be made, the seed cannot be replicated. When a guy keeps his sperm, the body sees it as a chance to improve the hormones and total fluid energy of the skin cells. As a consequence, it benefits both the host physically and emotionally. Furthermore, this vitality gives a guy a magnetic appeal. Makes him fearless and physically robust, while the rest of the world stands by and watches him succeed. Weak men and women sense this energy, and it's simple to see the difference between semen retainers and those who don't. Weak guys would follow you to discover your secret and inquire about your routine, and this is when you actually become a man's leader. 3. Muscle development. Here's a personal account from one of our astronauts. There was a moment when I couldn't exercise for 4 to 5 days. Why? Because the gyms were closed, I was deprived of adequate protein, but did you know? Only recently did I discover that my push lifts had risen by 150% of my previous performances during sperm release, allowing me to accomplish more repetitions than previously. After reading so much about it, it came as a surprise to me. I thought I knew everything about muscle development at first, but then I realized how incorrect I was. I was anticipating decreased muscular strength since I hadn't worked out. Instead, I was crumbling. During constant pre-SR training, for example, my overhead military press was 70 pounds 766, then failure. My overhead press increased to 70 pounds during sperm retention, and I was ready for additional sets, but I only performed 6 sets because I wanted to observe my failure point, which I never did. As a result of the exhaustion, I stopped. Despite having the power to go for more, my shoulders remain my weakest muscle area. I can only imagine how my leg strength was impacted. Previously, I mistook all of my sperm training advantages for psychological improvements, but now I know that this is not the case. Physical effects of sperm retention training. They are neither dummy or placebo therapies. That is how sperm stimulates muscle building and fat loss more than a protein shake. 4. Consciousness. I should have brought this up from the start. Your body craves attention. This potent weapon has the potential to propel humans to the top of the food chain and survival pyramid. Humans think about nothing but their capacity to reason without emotions. I'm glad for being born as a person as well. As a guy, I consider myself fortunate in that I do not lose nutrients and blood every month, as ladies with discomfort do. When a girl's life energy leaves her body without her consent, she has no choice but to accept it, but we men are different. We may suppress our desires while retaining the same vitality inside us. We can separate emotions from our mental processes as humans. Thoughts combined with emotions are often referred to as instincts or impulses. Impulses are one-dimensional, straightforward, and superficial. Here's an example to demonstrate the distinction. I consider the impulse to be a brutal force, while I consider it to be a surgical one. Only a mind devoid of emotion, known as a logical complex profound, and clever, is possible. This capacity to think without emotions allows us to easily achieve objectives and ascend to the top of the food chain. However, without this critical thinking, humans are no different from wild animals. A similar discrepancy in food chains may be seen in several human races. People who use drugs, commit crimes, or live on impulse are at the bottom of the ladder. At the same time, incredibly bright individuals who did not accomplish such things as Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Einstein, and Nikola Tesla are at the very top. Such individuals do not need daily motivating quotations. Instead, they are motivated by their intelligent internal conversations. In these inspiring quotes and videos, sperm preservation is important. Elicit emotional reactions. In the majority of people it is emotional motivation, and emotions cannot be relied on. Can you imagine Steve Jobs or Elon Musk masturbating 5 or 6 times a day while also creating a new smartphone? Isn't that correct? These people have separated their ideas from their emotions, and their desires do not dictate their logical thinking and behaviors. What I'm trying to say is that meditation teaches you to be calm and patient. Let us investigate the scientific meditation procedure. You sit down, do nothing, and observe your breath without thinking. You are preoccupied with certain emotional notions. Such ideas might be from the past or from our future concerns. You may, however, battle these notions with continual disciplined attentiveness and effort. As a result, you create distinctions between emotional ideas that target your attention area. As a result, when you lose interest in someone or something, you lose interest in what caused that idea. It is known as willpower, and in this case, mental relapse takes precedence over physical relapse. It is the ability to talk with oneself in order to prevent an emotional notion from overpowering rational thinking. This phenomena frequently happens twice, once before the physical relapse and once after the mental relapse. Willpower is the ability to choose rational reasoning over emotion. Wisdom is the victory of vision over quick gratification, and thus when you separate ideas from emotions. You think better than the ordinary Joe, but you can't meditate if you don't practice semen. Why? Because their emotional thoughts and brain fog will whisk it away in less than 2 seconds. You will need at least 2 or more weeks of retention to acquire complete attention and keep to observing breaths without any distractions. I practice paying attention to love, compassion, and meditation. Humans, unlike other animals, can love deeply and compassionately, therefore giving items to others is one reason for having a purpose in life. But empathy and meditation change your brain and improve your brain function significantly. Empathy is not a flaw in and of itself. The best-selling book in the New York Times never divided the difference. Chris's employer discusses how the FBI empathy training has previously assisted the United States in dealing with negotiations. Empathy does not imply that you agree with someone's viewpoint. Rather, it indicates that you comprehend their predicament by imagining yourself in their shoes. Don't forget to offer some love by clicking the subscribe button and liking the algorithm. Watch these videos to learn the next best method to level up as a guy. Thank you, and see you next time.